Well, isn't it funny? Not so long ago, when the markets were booming, crypto was hot, NFT, basically whatever you invested in would go up, and everybody was showcasing their portfolios on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, showing what great investors they are. Well, as you probably realized by now, markets definitely changed for the worse. We are in bear market territory, potentially recession looming. We've been talking about recession for so long, we're yet to see it. However, definitely markets are not what they used to be anymore. And now all of a sudden, I don't see any real portfolio updates anymore. All those people who showed to be investing gurus previously now turned really quiet, especially crypto YouTubers. And that's why I thought in this video, I really want to give you an update of my current situation, show you how my various investments have been doing in terms of crypto, stocks, ETFs, dividends, and P2P loans. Because in this channel, I'm all about transparency, showing you the wins of investing, but also the tough times, because life is cyclical. We're always going to go through phases. And as a disciplined and long-term investor, these are just part of investing and actually provide also great opportunities in the long term. So with this, let's get started. So let's start off with P2P loans, which is actually my smallest investments in terms of total size, but to be honest, actually one of my most profitable ones, because at least it didn't lose me any money, unlike some of the other investments. For this, I'm using a platform called Bondora. You can check it out in the link in the description below. They used to have a tool called Go and Grow, which basically gives you 6.75% interest on your money paid to you every single year, but paid out daily, which is amazing. So the 6.75% is on an annual basis, but the payout happens every single day. And I'll show you in a second how much I get, but that's basically my daily dividend if you want. And the good thing is I can withdraw the money instantly. So it's really great. It's almost like a savings account, even though I have to say, obviously, keeping money with a P2P loan, there's a certain risk to it. It's not fully insured. So yes, there is a risk factor, but at the same time, it's very liquid, much more liquid than some other asset classes. And I can pull out the money whenever I want. And then obviously put the funds to other use. But yeah, I really enjoy the platform. I'm not sure I want to grow much more. As you can see over here, the total amount I have in my Bondora account is 7,100. I added myself 6,800, and the difference is basically what I got in interest. So that's my interest payout, my dividend, so to say, if you want. And yeah, it's still a small amount, obviously, but once again, the benefit comes once you let it compound over time. And I can show you how that looks if you click over here into forecast. Basically, if I keep the amount that I have right now, I would add 400 euros every single month, because right now that's the maximum you can add every single month. They also have a Bondora Unlimited plan. There you can add unlimited amount that you want, but then the interest only is 4%. So unfortunately, they don't have the 6.75% anymore. But for those who signed up earlier, that's still valid. And let's say I'll keep it for 20 years here. Then you can really see the ending balance after 20 years will be 223,000 euros. Now, that's really nice. Obviously, once again, the power of compounding. If I add it for 30 years, you will see immediately, I mean, that's almost 500,000 euros I'll be having in just Bondora account. Now, will I be confident having such an amount in Bondora that is obviously not fully secured? Probably not, but for the time being, if I don't know what else to do with the money and I'm still keeping some of the funds to use for my upcoming wedding also, I think it's a good option to have. Here you can see the amount of interest I get every single day, €1.28 every single day. So again, it's a tiny amount, but as I keep on adding 400 euros every single month, this amount will actually go up. Not so long ago, I only got 30 cents. Soon I'll make around 60 euros a month just in passive income. So that's really not too bad. Again, tiny amount, but it just compounds. So yes, I'm really happy with the platform. It really works like a Swiss clock. Never had any issues. It's kind of set and forget it. Every first of the month, I send my 400 euros in there and it just does everything automatically. However, personally, I'm probably not going to go over 10,000 euros in that account, because at some stage I rather deploy the money elsewhere. That's for me more like an emergency fund, even though there's a certain risk to it, but still I could withdraw the money at a moment's notice. And yeah, I feel very confident with them, but probably 10,000 euros will be my cutoff amount. Next up, let's talk about my stocks and ETF holdings. Now, I'm using Interactive Brokers for this, and you can see over here, currently it has a net liquid value of 16,700. Now, around 600 of that is basically uninvested cash, so you can deduct those 600 from there. So plus or minus 16,000. So obviously I haven't been investing in stocks for quite a while, to be honest, because mostly in the last years I've been really focusing on crypto, and I'll show you my portfolio in a second. So that's why this is only my second biggest holding, to be honest. But now that I'm more consciously investing into dividend growing stocks, even more so than ETFs, I think this portfolio will definitely grow. I have a set amount that I invest every single month. Actually, what I'm doing right now is buying new stocks once a week and then do that every single week. If you don't have an account with Interactive Brokers yet, then use my link in the description below to get up to $1,000 worth of free stock from them. It's an amazing platform, though not the most user-friendly maybe at first. You can see over here my portfolio looks a little bit overwhelming, so I have a better way to show that. And for that, I'm actually using Dividend Watch, which is really an amazing tool. Basically, you can integrate a lot of your various brokers and have an amazing way of displaying your portfolio and really see your dividend income and projected income for the future. Right, with this, let's have a look. So my total portfolio value, as I said before, 16,000 currently. My current dividend yield is rather low because the majority of my holdings have have been into an ETF which pays a little bit lower. So now that I invest more consciously into higher paying dividend yield stocks, that will obviously increase as well. Very happy with the overall performance for the last 3 months. As you can see, actually I made some money. That's really good. I'm in the plus. However, if I look realistically, since the period that I started investing, which was back in 21 with Interactive Brokers, you can see a different story. I'm down minus 11%, which honestly is really not too bad compared to my crypto holdings. And again, long term, I'm super confident that this number will grow nicely. Now here you can see all the holdings I have. My biggest one, as I said, is actually the S&P 500. I buy the ETF from Vanguard called VUSA. And yeah, that's my biggest holding with almost 10K. It does pay a nice dividend of 1.41%. And honestly, if you're new to investing or just want to diversify, I always recommend definitely buy the S&P 500 because these are the 500 biggest companies in the US, and by the nature of it, they're diversified because a lot of those companies like Apple, Microsoft that are in there, they obviously operate on a global scale. So naturally, you're already diversified. So I really love that. It has a very low expense ratio. It's a great ETF to invest in, and I'll continue to do so. But the only thing is it does have a smaller dividend yield and it doesn't really grow the dividend as fast as some individual dividend stocks. Then next up, we have my only non-dividend paying stock, which is Alphabet or Google. Obviously, I'm very bullish on them long term, even though recently, like so many other tech companies, they went a bit downturn. Then we have Apple, of course, how else could it be? I'm a bit of an Apple fanboy. I love all their products and I always enjoy investing in companies that I really understand or buy their services, products myself, because, you know, if I'm a consumer, I can obviously relate how others can invest the same and I really know what's happening with the company. So I always recommend not only to invest in companies that you know, but it definitely helps if you have an affinity to a brand, and obviously Apple being one of my favorite tech companies. So I'll definitely continue investing in them. They do have a small dividend yield, but obviously they have been growing it nicely over time. Then BlackRock, a stock I really love, and I'll make future videos about BlackRock because I think long term, they're definitely only going to go one way, and that is up. They currently pay a very healthy dividend yield of 3.08%. So I really like that. And honestly, I really want to increase my holdings over there. Then I have a German reinsurance companies. This is basically the reinsurance of insurance companies. So for me, that's a really solid business model and they pay a very healthy dividend of 3.67. So I'm very bullish on them again, long term. Then LVMH, the global luxury powerhouse. They've been really growing in recent years. They pay not the highest dividend, but they have been growing the dividend over time and their price has been going up so much because their revenues, profit, I mean, they're really doing well. And that's considering that China hasn't opened up for so long. Now that China opens up, I think their profit's gonna go through the roof and it's just such a powerhouse and people always want LVMH products. They own pretty much all the nicest fashion luxury brands in the world. I think it's just an amazing brand to own and I definitely want to increase my holdings there as well. Then we have Realty Income, an American REIT. They own so much real estate, obviously mostly in the US, but now they're also venturing across internationally. And the amazing thing is here why a lot of dividend investors love the stock, because they pay out a monthly dividend. So every single month you're gonna get a dividend paid to you. And right now, as you can see, it's 4.84%. So really attractive yield. Their financials look great. And honestly, I'm definitely gonna increase my holdings over there as well. Then we have Coca-Cola. I've recently done a video about them. They have so many other brands. Everybody thinks they only own Coca-Cola, but they have so many brands that they own. They want to be a total beverage company, owning basically any kind of beverage offering you could think of, including coffee, water, what have you. Costa Coffee, for example, which was recently acquired only a few years ago. So I think they can really roll this out and compete with Starbucks long term. So once again, I'm really bullish on them. Right now, they have a nice dividend yield of 2.93%. The biggest shareholder in Coca-Cola is Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway. So that gives me trust as well. And yeah, just a company I really, really enjoy. And lastly, we have the S&P 500 Global. That's actually one of the biggest rating agencies in the world, together with Moody's. They rate entire countries, the credit worthiness of banks, companies. Together with Moody's, they really control the world and rate everything. And obviously also behind the famous S&P 500 index, they really sit on a ton of data and people pay a lot of money to them to use the data from them. So I think it's a really great company to own. They still have a small dividend yield, but they have been paying out dividends for so long and growing it over time. Not the hottest stock and not something I'm going to plow all my money in, but definitely I want to have it on my radar and slowly average my way into it over time. So here you can see my diversification. Obviously the biggest part being in ETFs with almost 61%. So I definitely want to change that over time. And then here some of the other sectors. And my dividend yield is definitely something I want to increase, because right now a majority is in low dividend, 0 to 2%, and I want to get it to medium or high yield. Not actually too high, because anything over 4 or 5%, I'm getting a little bit worried, because I want the company to reinvest some of the money to grow the company organically, rather than only paying profits to shareholder and not having any money left to innovate. So I really think it should be a nice balance between those. And lastly, you can see here my dividends, how they grow nicely, and that's just by being consciously investing into that. So that number will definitely definitely go up even more in 23 as I invest more actively into dividend stocks. So my next goal would be to get 1,000 euros of dividend income per year. And it's really cool here on the calendar. I can see exactly what company is paying me on what day, the amount. You can see here every month, for example, Realty Income paying me the amount, BlackRock coming up very soon with 6 euros. So obviously I still have tiny holdings in this, but if I keep on investing, that number will go up nicely. And I can see here what's coming up. So that's really nice and reassuring to have. So if you enjoyed the tool, definitely use my link in the description below, sign up to it, and you can either go with the free plan or the paid plan. But I really think it's worth to track your portfolio and see the growth over time. Next up, we have my largest position, and that's actually my crypto holdings. As you can see over here, currently it has a value of around 37,500 euros. But honestly, the amount was almost double at some stage. It just shows you how the markets really came down. It's painful to see. Now I don't even look at it on a daily basis, even though, to be honest, actually it came back nicely by 33% in the last week. But if I go back from when I started, I'm really down more than 50%. So hopefully it will come back to all-time highs again, if not higher. And I think now with all the banking situation, what's happening, people are fleeing once again back into safety, especially Bitcoin, Ethereum as a store of value. So I think we see that number going up in the future. But once again, I'm a long-term buy and holder. I'm not actively investing right now. You can see my holdings if I go into the account over here. Right now, I only own Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Polygon. In the long term, I might be selling my Polygon because at the time I got 12% staking rewards on my Nexo holdings with Polygon. So that was really nice. But now I'm not so bullish anymore on that. Long term, I definitely want to be mostly in Bitcoin. I'm really happy to have more than one Bitcoin. My goal was always to own at least one Bitcoin. Now I have 1.1, as you can see over here, and I'm really happy with that. And I'm not actively investing or dollar cost averaging into my crypto holdings. I still see the long-term potential and appeal of cryptocurrency, but at the same time, I'm also very conscious that a lot of governments start developing their own CBDCs, basically their own digital crypto form that they can issue and take full control and custody over. And honestly, at times that's a little bit scary and worrying, because if they do that, they might as well just ban any of the other crypto forms. So I don't really see that happening anytime soon, but there is a possibility, of course. That's why I'm not really going all in. I still want to diversify. Right now, I really think my stock and ETF holdings are way too little. That's why I want to focus on growing that. And then we'll see how things develop going forward. I'm really happy with that portfolio right now. But as I said, I'm not actively buying any more of the cryptocurrency, but I'm also not selling it. I'm buying and holding, see where things go from there. But definitely I want to diversify more across the different investment classes. And lastly, of course, I have one more investment class I didn't mention here, which is real estate. And I'm really happy with that. It's been going up really nicely. And in fact, it has probably been my best investment. I have it in Dubai over there. I have currently around 6 to 7% yield. That's a net yield. So that's really, really good. Plus the appreciation and price of the real estate already, because real estate in Dubai is absolutely booming right now. So I'm really happy with that investment, and that has been doing really, really well. I'm happy with that, and hopefully we'll add more real estate going forward in the future. And of course, lastly, I have my cash reserve sitting in my traditional bank. I know that's probably not the smartest move, because right now I'm really getting no interest on that, but actually there is a reason behind it, because I'm gonna have to use that cash very soon to pay for my wedding. And honestly, guys, I can tell you, it's not cheap having a wedding these days, especially since we're gonna do it in Spain. So we're really gonna have a lot of expenses over there. So yes, from a purely investment point of view, it may not be the smartest decision to do that, but then again, love doesn't have a price tag, right? So as you can see, I'm by no means an investment guru, but I also think nobody really is, because if you look long enough, most people actually fail to beat the market, the S&P 500. If you really look long, 15, 20 years, hardly anyone really outperforms consistently the market. So that's why I don't feel bad, but I also think it's good for us to remember not to get pulled into the latest investment hype that you see online and put all your money in there. You have to really see a long-term investing horizon. Just like Warren Buffett, he only became a billionaire after he was 55 years old, and now he's a multi-billionaire because his wealth exponentially compounded. So it's up to you what kind of investment style you have, but for me, that's a model that works. I have a bit of higher risk and speculation with my crypto holdings. At the same time, I sleep peacefully at night with my dividend, growth stocks, and ETFs. And to really top it off and sleep peacefully at night, I can always go to my own apartment in Dubai. Next, check out this video over here, where I'm going to run you through my reasoning and thoughts of why I love dividend growth investing. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel. It means the world to me. As always, stay healthy, get wealthy, and I see you in the next one. Ciao.